Hey y'all, hey, come on in the room, come on in the room. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I've had a good energetic start to my Tuesday. I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't expecting all this. I was gonna be home and chill, take a day off from going to bar. But then I got on and I saw Lauren was at the gym early this morning. I was like, my girl, you know what? Let me get up. Let me get up and take my behind to class. And I'm so glad that I did. So if you're watching live, welcome. We're going to do a card pull from the Iconic Woman Oracle deck, which is now on pre-order on the site. It is linked in the caption. Your order will come with this beautiful pouch. Let me tell you about this pouch, y'all. So when I started to get more serious about putting this deck or completing this deck, my mind always goes for like, make it worthy of like whatever. Make it a show. That's really what I'm trying to say. I like to put on a show a little bit, and I need to be honest with myself about that. So when I was getting more serious about it, I made it this whole thing. And it still will be at some point because I like being extra like that. But just to be able to put this out here, I had to really scale down my vision a little bit. Still hold it, but scale it down so that I could be on here today to share with you and to invite you to experience this deck. My grandmother and her husband actually made these pouches for me. So I gave them my logo. I purchased the materials, but my grandmother has an embroidery machine, and they have a business where they sell embroidered materials. And so, I think it's just so awesome. Mind you, I have two grandmothers who are incredible at making things that look very stylish and very fabulous. And to me, I wonder, I'm like, well, dang, I didn't get the sewing ability. I didn't get the making itself, but I got the ability to look good while in it. And so for that, I am grateful for both of my grandmothers. But this pouch was made by my grandmother. So that's a very special treat for me. And it is a special gift that you will receive if you are one of the first 50 orders for this deck. There's also another surprise for those who purchase within the first 50 orders. You'll receive your own version of this candle, which I am burning right now. This is a candle from Amaluna Botanica. It's called Mystic. And so what I have been doing is every time I sit down to pull a card, which by the way, thanks to Ivory, we're gonna be doing daily card pulls. There are a total of 43 more days until October the 1st. I need y'all to do the math. I'm an engineer and math was my thing, so I need you to follow me. I think you can do it. 43 days until October the 1st, which is my initial date that I wanted to have the first orders out, first 50 orders, which is my goal. So please help me make my goal. But there are 44 cards in this deck, which means that a card pull every day, you may get to see all the cards, you may not. So you might as well just buy the deck. But before we get into it, if you're watching live, let me know, say hello, drop an emoji, give me some reacts. I want to engage because I want this to be an experience, right? Yesterday was so awesome. We had a bunch of our ladies in the house, and there was a good word that got through. So if you are here, do not lurk. Do not lurk. Come and receive your blessing. Come and receive your message if it's for you. If it's for you. But if not, it's okay. Just watch. Maybe you'll pull something out of the message too. But I want to talk about my morning. This morning, taking my kids to the bus stop, and there was a car that drove by, and all of a sudden I heard a bump, bump. And I was like, what is that? And I saw this animal in the middle of the street after the car drove over it, then crawl to somebody's house. I don't know if they went to their backyard or what. Maybe in the bushes. I don't know. All I know is I hope when those people come back home, they don't see it. So that was like incident number 1. Hey, Shanita. That was incident number 1. Incident number 2, my daughter's on her bus. She's gone. I'm waiting for my son for the middle school bus. Hey, Alexis. And out jumps this rabbit, just dashing across the way. And we're all just like, our heads are like whiplash. We're like, what? That happened. Okay, that happened. And so my son gets on his bus and he goes off to school, and I'm walking back down the street and I see this dog that I've never, ever seen before. I thought it was my neighbor Shamika's dog, but I'm like, I don't ever see her dog just randomly going into other people's yards. Like I know that is not a characteristic of her dog. So I'm like, this is a random dog. And then I didn't see it for a minute, because it went behind a truck as I was walking straight on. But I saw my neighbor come out and call the dog over. The dog went up to him and he's like petting the dog. And I'm like, maybe they're dog sitting, which wouldn't really make sense knowing my neighbors. But, these are the type of reasoning that goes through my head when stuff doesn't make sense. I'm trying to make it make sense. It wasn't making sense. And so I go over to the dog because I'm being nosy at this point. I'm like, what is this dog doing here? Who is this dog? Which looked friendly, by the way. So my neighbor's like, can you hold him for a minute? I'm going to go get a leash because I don't know whose dog this is. Y'all, let me just say that shout out to Zeke. Hey, Lona. Hey, Jennifer. Shout out to Zeke, because if I had not been a dog mom and that man would have asked me to hold that dog, I would have been like, get somebody else to do it. But I have since come over, and I was able to just like hold the dog and keep him calm. Oh, thank you, girl. I forget which company this is. I want to get some more, add to my, my little collection and whatnot. But thank you. So I had the dog kind of, I was petting him. And even as he was like looking up at me, it was just so sweet, like so sweet and friendly, which is also not Zeke. Zeke is sweet and friendly, but he's playful. He's energetic. He's like jumping. He wants to, that dog trend is like, can you tell if your dog is black if you put it to your face and it doesn't try to lick you? We're not there yet with him. Because I think he's not. He's chocolate lab. I don't know. JK. But so he gets the leash. The dog just puts the leash on, like with no fuss, no fight, anything at all. So the next thing we know, because I'm taking pictures at this point, I'm like, okay, I'll post it in the neighborhood Facebook group. But before I even like put my camera up, we hear somebody calling, we assume, a dog's name. It's like, okay, that must be your owner. Walk up the street. The dog got out because the lady's husband and son left. And I don't know how he got out, but he did. And then started chasing down the street. But anyway, found his way back home. So there is a book that I have. Hold on 1 minute, because I meant to have it like right here so I can show y'all. So I brought out my Spirit Animals Pocket Guide, which this was suggested to me by a friend. Oh, you haven't missed the pool yet? No, you haven't missed the pool yet. Stick around. Or if you can't, then come back to it. But I had to share this. So there were 3 animals that I mentioned that were kind of like on the run this morning. on the run. The first one, and this was all before 7 a.m., mind you. 7 a.m., we had an opossum, we had a rabbit, and we had the dog. I looked up each one from this book and wrote down my own messages. This is before I got my day started, right? I wrote down my own messages. Or I wrote down the messages that that resonated with me from the guide. From the opossum, I got stretch yourself farther than what you think you're capable of. Also, I just received another download from that, but okay, thank you. The rabbit, this is a very creative time for you. You need to remain flexible. Receive, it's also Mercury. Mercury is in retrograde right now, so, you know, receive, be flexible. And the dog, keep the faith. And for me, that was especially helpful because keeping the faith for me is what helps me to be creative. If I have hope for something, I want to invest my energy into it creatively, to build it, to cultivate it, to nurture it. And so if I think it's worth pursuing, that means that there's hope there, that I can then use something I know that I have a strength in to contribute. But also having hope and keeping the faith helps you to be more expansive in that regard. Having hope means that there is an expectancy of a plot twist. And that plot twist for me is that it's going to get better. Okay? Like, that's the only plot twist that I'm expecting, that it's going to get better. So I have to keep going. Okay? Keep the faith. All right. I don't know who that was for besides me, but if it was for anybody else, there you go. Shout out to these animals out here who are feeling this full moon energy as well. But I received the messages. Okay. Again, we are burning Mystic by Amaluna Botanica. Follow on Facebook, Instagram. Check out the website. There are plenty of products that are clean, cruelty-free, non-toxic, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff, and with intention and love, okay? Smells good too. But we are going to go ahead and get into the card pool. Hey, Nicole. Okay, let's see. What message do we have for us today? All right, y'all saw that. We have card number 1, the very first card in this deck. It is called Look Within. Look Within. It's the very first card in this deck. Look Within is a very special card. Not only is it number 1, but it is the only card in this deck that does not have a face of anyone. Until now, yours. Look Within. And that card, man, this is the card you pull and you just like contemplating life. Like, all right, let me slow down. Let me think about where I've come from, where I'm going, where I'm headed. It's like you're taking a step back and you're allowing yourself to be an observer of your own life. But instead of looking at it from like this massive outer view, you gotta invert that. You gotta invert it. You have to go deep, but like not with what's happening outside of your body. What's happening in your heart? What's happening in your mind? What do you feel kind of moving through you? If you feel it more somatically, some people, it doesn't come to them with thought. It comes to them with emotion. Some people, it comes to them with their physical, like what their body physically wants to do. But whatever that look within, whenever you receive this card, in most cases, it's like, it can be a suggestion to get more clear too. And I keep hesitating because I want to say slow down. But it's not necessarily like a slow down. It's just like more of be mindful, be more aware of yourself. Because if you are on go, and if you also have other responsibilities that are taking place outside of you, you still have these goals that you set. So you want to make sure you're being intentional about that. You want to make sure you're maintaining relationships around you. We're managing a lot of things on outside of us, and we do those things very well. We're great at it. A+++++. A+++++. Look within is like an inversion of all that we do outside for everybody else, and like, okay, let me get some of that back. Let me go within. Let me pour back into me. Whether it's I need to see something about myself, whether it's something I need to accept about myself, whether it's something that I need to tell myself the truth about. That's this card. Whenever I get this card, like don't ask me to do nothing else. It's me time right now. This is like the ultimate self-care card, because this shows you where self-care is not just the things that feel good. Self-care is the tender nurturing of wounds. Sometimes self-care is, kind of cracking the whip on your own self. Like, look, now we said we weren't going to come back here. We're not going to do this again. So that to me is, when I think about self-care, it is in all the ways in which I can nurture myself and I can get back to prioritizing myself. If I have been in a space or a period or a relationship where I have been not allowing there to be a balance to unfold. Does that make sense? Or am I just talking to myself at this point? What y'all think? Who's still here, by the way? I know this is a much different energy than yesterday's card. Much different energy. And that's okay though, because it just aligns with what I just said. Like sometimes you gotta draw yourself back in to restore yourself. Hey, Ronnie, you came late, so I'm catching up. Okay, here we go. Look Within was the card we pulled. Card number 1, the only card in this deck that does not have a face, except yours when you look within. Okay. So while y'all give me some feedback on that, I'm going to go back to my note about the animals that I saw. Stretching yourself, the opossum was stretching yourself farther than what you think you're capable of. Okay, so I definitely did that this morning when I went to bar, because I knew I was going to be sore today, which I am. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself a day off and then I'll get back into it on Wednesday. But then I was like, no, like, let me just go just to see what I can do, not to set myself up to have this like PR performance. You know what I mean? So I did, and I feel good. Like, I feel great. But also I'm noticing, like this live video, for instance, going live on here daily is a stretch. It is stretching me. It is stretching me, that knowing that committing myself to that means that I am keeping my own word. But that's important to me. That's important for me to learn right now in this space that I'm in. I was like, I have to keep my own word to myself, because I know that when I keep my word and when other people keep their word with me, there's a significance with that. there's a trust, there's a bond that is now formed through keeping your own word. So that is my commitment. So put it on your calendars if you would like to. I will do my best to be on here at the same time every day at noon. If anything changes, then I will post it on here. But yes, definitely being stretched. Also, good for me though, because there are so many others of you who may be watching this too. Maybe that's your word, like you're being stretched to get more visible, showing up in your business. I'm not gonna say too much. But okay, the rabbit. This being a very creative time. I have had so many ideas come through in like the last week, and I just don't even have space to execute them. And it just, it's beautiful to witness because, you know, I'm writing down my notes. I'm in Canva making mood boards, or I'm on Pinterest making mood boards. And I just have these really big bursts of creative energy. But then I also need to remind myself that I don't need to share everything as it comes, because when it's always just like bursts. It's like, Latoya, no, write them down, put them on a list, use it for later. Okay. Yeah. But it's like getting paid, right? It's like, you know, you get paid, but then you still got to like budget your money. But this is like budgeting my time. How much can I do at one time? It's important to know that. But also remaining flexible. That was the second message of the rabbit. And then the dog was keep the faith. Keep the faith. Okay. Ronnie's still here. Who else is still here? I need to know who's here, because this is very quiet. It's very quiet in here. And you can fully tell me that did not resonate with me at all. And that would be totally fine with me, because those are the messages that I got. And that was good enough for me. But again, I encourage you, if you are in a space of wanting to be supported, if you're in a space of pouring back into yourself, strengthening and multiplying on what you are creating, whether it be a family, whether it be a business, whether it be a better life for yourself, this is what the Iconic Woman Oracle is for. Hey, Alexis. Okay, Alexis is still here too. So when I recommend this deck, I'm looking for a very specific person. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I know sometimes we want to think that everybody is going to benefit from the things that we produce and what we put out. But the truth is, they can benefit from it, but if they don't see value in it, it's just not for them. It's just not for them. So I want this to reach exactly who it needs to reach. I would love to see this. I'm just imagining right here. I'm just visualizing. I'm seeing this in, you know, on your homegirl's coffee table with all her other metaphysical cards. And she reaches for this deck when she really knows, like, you know what? I'm ready to step it up. I'm ready to be seen. I'm ready to be heard. This is the ultimate, like, get out of hiding deck. You want to get out of hiding? You need to step it up. You need to pop out and show. Pick up this deck. Pick up this deck. That's the energy. That is the energy. Ronnie says it does resonate. It's kind of like you where there's so many things at once. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot coming through. And shout out to you for even being receptive and open to receiving, you know, that insight. because, you know, I'm sure knowing who is in the room right now, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you get those downloads, when you get those insights, when you get those messages that are like so clear, it's like, all right, like, let me just take it in, but also take it in and nurture it. It's kind of, okay, so now Alexis is coming up with the plants. You know what's too much for certain plants might be not enough for others. You have to get to know the temperature. You have to get to know the essence of that particular plant because its needs are going to be different than another. And so when you get so much in at once, for me, I know that I have to like write it down. I have to put it somewhere concrete so that I don't lose it, first of all, because there's so many things that are coming in. But I might not be able to act on it in the moment, but I might need that for later. Take it in and do something with it. Oh, that's okay. That is the one. That is the one. Not only do you receive the message, but what do you do with it? Okay, Alexis, I see you. I see you. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? That's a word. You get the picture. You know what's going on, but like, now what's your next step? What are you going to do with it? Alexa says, I had a situation last week where I received a download and I almost didn't act out of fear, but I did. And it was, ooh, okay. That was for me, Alexis. Thank you. See, look at us. If you did not say that, then I would not receive that. That is something that I needed to hear today. That was good. That was good. Lona says, right, because sometimes the message is not for you to do, but give away. Okay. All right. All right. And there it is. And there it is. And there it is. Okay, y'all. Ooh. It got hot in here just now. It got hot in here. I gotta sit up straight. Let me fix my posture. Let me sit up. Okay. Back straight. All right. Yeah. We have to stop playing games with ourselves about our gifts and let it be okay. Let it be okay. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. Like I said, I feel like I got me some more act right in me just now, just from that alone. So I wish you all the best Tuesday that you can appreciate and enjoy today. Meet me here tomorrow at noon. And of course, pre-order the Iconic Woman Oracle. First 50 orders will receive a gift, including this beautiful pouch that was created by my grandmother. And you will get a version of the Mystic candle from Amaluna Botanica. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah.